Thank you, Mr. Moderator. My name's Ed McGrath. I'm chairman of the North Reading Recycling Committee, and for the benefit of those in the overflow, you're not missing any slideshows tonight. I'm going to keep it brief. The recycling totals for this year, fiscal year 08, were ahead of last year's totals by a substantial amount. In fact, since fiscal year 05, recycling has increased. North Reading has indeed lost weight. When the Recycling Committee introduced the Lose Weight campaign, the average household was disposing of 65 pounds of trash per week. This year, we're down to 53 pounds per week. As positive as these results are, we could be doing better. Our paper recycling rate is about 12%. We're striving for 20%. Why? Money, real money. In fiscal year 07, if North Reading recycled paper at a rate of 20%, the town would have saved about $40,000 in tipping fees, the cost to have the trash burned up at the incinerator. This year we are on pace to save about $60,000 in tipping fees just by recycling, and if we increase the recycling rate to 20%, we would save an additional $25,000. To put that number in perspective, look at the sheet here. What would $85,000 fund in this sheet? You pick which department you want to support. Recreation, library, schools, police, fire, pick one. That money goes right to the town's bottom line. It's money not spent. So, tonight, I'm imploring you to recycle more. And if you know someone who isn't recycling, implore them to recycle. The Recycling Committee has acquired stickers. If you want to make your own recycling bin, contact the Recycling Committee. We have stickers. We can customize your own bin if you want a bigger bin. Save yourself some trips to the end of the driveway. We have an email. If you have questions, email us. There's 3 types of paper we don't take. The wrapping paper from the reams, when you get it for your computer printers at home, those go in the trash. Those can't be recycled. The paper's treated to resist water. It mucks up the recycling process. If you buy milk or juice in a carton that has a plastic liner, those can't be recycled. And anything with foil. I was at a conference in January, and North Shore Recycled Fibers, which a lot of our paper goes to, makes the cereal boxes for Kellogg's cereal. If Kellogg's sees a piece of foil on the box, the whole batch is tossed out. I don't know if anyone heard the news today, but Sam Adams Beer had to recall a whole batch of beer because of glass. Contamination like that, they have to throw the whole batch of cereal away. So those 3 things, don't put in the recycling bin. But if it rips, put it in the recycling bin. Let's get that up to 20%. Finally, a couple dates. There'll be information in the paper and elsewhere. On Saturday, May 3rd, we will have the semi-annual curbside yard waste collection. On June 14th this year, we're going to have our special collection. If you recall, we take propane tanks, we take batteries, tires, fluorescent lamps. Last year, we introduced scrap metal, and we came away with 2 tons of scrap metal. And then there's a zero waste day in Andover that we have been invited to participate with, and I'll get those details into the paper. So if you have something that is usable, you don't want to get rid, you just don't want to throw it away, there's an outlet for it. Finally, the warrant, as Mr. Harris was corrected by me, the warrant and any paper you get here tonight can be recycled. I hope you do so. Thank you very much.
Lastly, the Finance Committee.
Good evening. I'm Abby Hurlbut, Chairman of the Finance Committee. Welcome to you all. I rise to speak in adjunct to our report to town meeting, which you will find in the beginning of your warrant. In this report, we address various issues and concerns. Please take some time to look at it. As I am sure most of you realize, this has been a particularly difficult budget season. Funds have been short, Cuts have had to be made. Tough choices have been examined. Both municipal and school administration, as well as the Finance Committee, has spent long hours to come up with a balanced budget that does its best to address the needs of the town. The responsibility of the Finance Committee is to advise if an item is financially prudent. Sometimes these decisions are in opposition to what we might wish as private citizens. From time to time, we must advise against an expenditure that we might support as individuals and feel has merit. As Finance Committee members, we must focus on the financial implications. It is extremely important to maintain our education system, and it is also important that we maintain the municipal departments as well as North Reading's infrastructure. Much of this infrastructure maintenance has been placed on hold due to lack of funds. Last year's town meeting created a stabilization fund for such projects to be funded in part by Berry monies. The fund was instituted to offset costs of borrowing for major projects. This is our chance to address some of the needs of our town's infrastructure without overburdening the taxpayer. I cannot overstate the importance of respecting the defined use of this fund. We need to be watchful of using this fund to close budget gaps or fund recurring town expenses. In the last 20 years, North Reading's population has increased by over 2,000 people. The number of dwellings requiring fire and police services and the miles of roads that the DPW must plow and maintain have substantially increased. The school population has also grown, even more substantially. Needless to say, increasing school staff has been important to continue to provide excellent education for our children. However, staff increases on the municipal side have not kept pace with the town's growth. The dollars for road maintenance has dwindled to almost nothing. The DPW has had only one new hire in 20 years. As we move forward, we need to examine these issues of funding our schools, municipal government, and the infrastructure of the entire town. We must work to develop a plan for meeting more of these needs. We cannot reasonably expect any significant increase in revenue, either from local sources or state aid. Unless there are major changes in how we approach the operation of municipal government and the schools, we simply do not have enough income to support our expenses. Every function carried out by the town, both municipal and school, needs to be critically examined to determine if we are using our limited resources in an optimal manner. We must guard against pitting one department against the other. The only way we are going to make any progress on this enormous task is through the cooperative effort of all departments, personnel, and unions, as well as elected and appointed boards. The common goal is and must be to provide the best possible services to all townspeople. If we fail to address the legitimate needs of another, we have failed in our task. As we work through the warrant this evening, you'll hear from various other members of the Finance Committee on specific articles. Thank you.
Are there any other reports? Seeing none, a while ago, we had a motion to accept the town report and the reports you've heard before you. Other discussion? Any discussion in the overflow, Mr. Witz?
No, there is not.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Mr. Witz, is it unanimous in the overflow?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. In a moment, we need to open up the other overflow facility. Mrs. Pulowski, if you're still in the hall, where'd you go? There you are. Joanne Pulowski will serve as the assistant moderator for the additional overflow facility, which will be the gymnasium. Any discussion? Any discussion, Mr. Witz?
No, there is not.
Okay, I'll need a vote of the body to appoint Joanne Pulowski as assistant moderator. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Mr. Witz, is it unanimous in the overflow?
Yes, it is.
Okay. We'll take a 5-minute recess. Mrs. Pulowski, if you'd come up to be sworn in by the town clerk. 5 minutes, that's it. We will start in 5 minutes. Thank you.